Okay, I spent 3 weeks and countless hours on Clubhouse. And I think I'm becoming a Clubhouse addict. Yes, I am. I am a Clubhouse addict. I think the platform should change name. To be honest, it should be called Crackhouse and not Clubhouse. But having said that, in this video I'm going to talk about what is Clubhouse, how to make the most of it, and how to use it if you want to use it for business as well as for personal use. So if you have any question, make sure you put the questions in the comments, because I can definitely pick them up or create other videos around that. And if you're watching, say hi, so then I know that you're watching. So having said that, I would love to start with what is Clubhouse? Well, it is a social media app which is incredible, in my opinion. Why do I think it's incredible? I think it's incredible because it is audio based, and what it does is that it invites you to have meaningful conversations with people. Now, of course, there are people that use it in different ways. They use it and they abuse it. But if you go to the core of Clubhouse, is the closest thing that I found to an event. What do you mean? What happens when you are in an event? You have speakers that are on stage. You have people in the audience. Sometimes in some events you can ask questions to the speakers and you can interact with them. Now, that's the same thing that you can do on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is great because you can create conversations with people. Clubhouse is great because when you're creating your own room or you're participating to another room, you can engage and interact with someone. And personally, I've connected with people that I would have, I wanted to connect with, but it would have probably taken me years or more money or a lot of introduction to get to them. I was in a room with Grant Cardone, with Russell Branson, which are big people in our industries, and having conversation with them, be part of the same panels. So it is an incredible opportunity to not only network, but also create relevant content and relevant conversations with people. And Claire, I'm going to go to your questions around that, because if you want to make Clubhouse work for your business, if you want to make Clubhouse work for you, and it's important to understand a basic concept in marketing. And a basic concept in marketing is that a sale follows a conversation. Now, if you think about even when you buy, a sales follows a conversation that you have in your head. If you buy something which is quite cheap or inexpensive. If you buy something which is really expensive, a sales follows a conversation that you have with someone. And what you're doing on Clubhouse is generating conversations. In fact, you will see that there are rooms that are better than others. There are rooms where people are talking at people, like this is my stage, this is your room, I'm teaching you. You find that those rooms actually, they have people that go in and out and they don't stay for long. But if you have a room which generates a conversation, now not only you can create partnerships, but also you can connect with potential clients. And what I found in experience, in experiment I did, is Clubhouse is the first platform, is the only platform that I found that gets someone from I never heard about you or I never seen you before to immediately buy from you. And that's the same thing that often happens at a live event. So that's why I consider Clubhouse as the closest thing to live events. You know, I used to run 200 live events per year. So having the opportunities to generate and create meaningful conversations with people and bringing a community together, that's what I love the most. And if you do it well, Clubhouse can do the same thing. Because let's say you are creating a room, right? You're creating a room of conversation, you're creating a room of discussion, you're creating a room around the topic that you want to be known for. Now you can have conversation with potential clients that are, maybe they don't know about you, but they are attracted to the title of the room and they can go there, listen to you, and get your question answers. So it immediately also gets you to feel who are the real people, who are people that are always bragging about what they do, who are people that you want to connect with, who are people that you want to hear more from, or people that you want to hear less from. And it's very easy. Like you can pick up energetically at an event, for example. if you want to connect with that speaker or not, if that speaker resonates with you or not. And you can't do that in a very similar way you can only do that maybe on a video where you can have a sense of how the person is, but you don't have the real element of having a question and answer. You don't have the real element of having a conversation. And yes, Claire, it is talking through a microphone. It is exactly talking through a microphone where you create your own space or you're part of someone else's space. You can ask questions. So there are a few things that you can use on Clubhouse, and I want to set the ground rules. If you want to have a great Clubhouse room or be effective on Clubhouse, use Clubhouse to generate conversations, not to show off. If you go on Clubhouse to show off, if you go on Clubhouse to say, how can I get clients from here, uh, you're going with the wrong mindset. But if you're going to Clubhouse and say, how can I generate interesting conversation around a topic that is of personal interest, or around a topic that is of interest of my audience, then you're onto something. Because now suddenly you can create a community around you and around your topic very quick. Now, after being on Clubhouse, we made probably about like £30,000 in 3 weeks from clients that came directly from Clubhouse. And also, my Instagram audience grew exponentially. Like, Instagram is not a platform I spent a lot of time on. I just post for the sake of posting, for having a platform there, but it's not a platform that I really love. But what happens is that people will find you on Clubhouse and then they will connect with you on Instagram and send you messages. I think I still have about 75 messages. I need to streamline this process. But I have about 75 messages of people I need to respond to, of potential clients. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, it is because if you're then creating a topic, if you're creating a conversation where not only you are involved as a speaker, but your audience is involved, where either they are contributing to the conversation or they're asking questions, now you're creating a room that people want to be part of. Because it's not just a place which is a passive experience for them, but if they choose to, it can become an active experience for them. And so when you're thinking about, well, you know what are some of the topics that I love to talk about? What are some of the topics that my audience is interested in? These are already great Clubhouse rooms. Another thing that you can use Clubhouse for is for market research. Now, one of the things that you're going to find immediately when you create a room or when you are listening as part of other rooms is people asking questions. People ask a lot of questions consistently. Guess what? These are questions that your ideal clients or your potential partners might have too. So by being part of other people's conversation or other people's room or creating your own one, you're now having your content planned out for the entire year. You don't even have to think about, oh, what shall I write today? What shall I talk today? You will have people asking questions, and then, for example, you can create a video to answer those questions. So then now you're creating video content or written content. Now, why do I'm creating this video? Well, I'm creating this video and also this podcast episode, because this is gonna turn into a podcast episode. Um, is because I know there are a lot of people that jump on Clubhouse and they ask, how can I use Clubhouse? What's the best way to use Clubhouse? How can I use it for business? How can I not waste time on it? So that's why I created this video. Because I know that these people ask all these questions, so I know that the people that are following me or my audience is interested in, is Clubhouse a waste of time? Does it work? And let me tell you why I believe it's not a waste of time. Because it is the only platform, it's the first platform I found that gets you to connect deeply with someone that has never heard from you before, where you can have a conversation with, and then direct the conversation either on Instagram and then going with it. But generally, if you think about the social media game and the social selling game, it is they will find you on a post, then they interact with you, then they will send you a message or you will send them a message to have a conversation. Now, this is the reverse. You have the conversation first, and then you build the relationship and you keep building the relationship after the conversation that you have. So you can see that what you normally in the social selling cycle is the end goal, here is the starting point. So when you're having conversations with people, they're already familiar with you, they already felt you already helped them out, or they reached out to you because you said something and they want to hear more about that thing. So Claire is asking here, is it better to listen a lot first, or is that lurking? You can choose your best strategy. You can choose your strategy here. And if you have any question while you're here, feel free to ask. But I like to dive straight immediately into the use of the platform because I learn more by doing. So what I did, I was part and I listened to 5 or 6 different rooms that were around my topic to have an idea of how people moderated the room, to have an idea of what topics people were interested in, what kind of question they were asking. And also because we know other clients that we are working on, then I was already thinking, okay, what rooms can I create? And then created partnership. So then, because my fear when I created my first room, it was, what if I create the room and I'm the only one there, and now I'm begging people to stay? Hey, thank you for coming. Why don't you stay? That was my biggest concern and my biggest fear at that moment. It's like, what if I'm now creating this room and I'm the only one talking? I mean, I can talk to myself. I ain't got problem, and I ain't got problem talking for ages. But still, I wanted to create a conversation. So I connected with a friend of mine, Katya, and I sent her a message and say, hey, I'm doing my first room on Clubhouse. Worst case scenario, we're having a chat, me and you. Are you up for it? And then she said yes. So we got, yeah, then we did the room, and actually it turned out to be a great success because I think we had like 20, 30 people attending. And also you will find a Clubhouse, because the way you interact and you create connection, picking up followers is incredibly fast. I think it's the first platform where in less than 3 weeks I got more than 2,000 followers. It took me like 4 years to get 2,000 followers on Instagram. But then a lot of these followers now they are following me on the other social media platform and where we are interacting personally. But why is that easier to get followers on Clubhouse? Well, first of all, it's less crowded right now. So there is an advantage of being an early adopter. Because when you're going to a platform like Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, when literally there are hundreds of millions or billions of people on the platform, it's a platform which is already mature. It's a platform where there are set rules, the algorithm are already working, there is way more noise. But when you go into a platform where it starts from the beginning, and it's actually a platform you enjoy being in, then it's easy, people feel that you actually enjoy being there and you enjoy creating conversation, but also it's easier to stand out from the crowd. And as well, it's easier to, after I have a conversation with you, it's easier to build the relationship. Exactly. It's easier to build that relationship because now you've heard from me. So it's easier to say, actually, because I value what you say and I want to hear from you again, let me follow you. Now, the way you find followers on other social media platforms, is different. It takes way longer for someone to build the same relationship, for someone to have following you around. And so I found now, even after 3 weeks, that I have people that religiously, every single room that I open, they follow me. Every single room that I do, we do a room at 11 o'clock each morning called the UK Coaches Speakers Connect and Entrepreneurs Connect. And I do it with my wife, Lovelda, and Michelle Raymond. Every time we have a core of people that will always come back because they love the way we run the room. They love the way we moderate the room, and they love the conversations that we create. So you'll find that very quickly you will have people that are going to be following you around and then become clients. In fact, someone might see you 2, 3 times and then they're already said that they want to buy from you or they want to explore more how they can work with you. So that's why I love Clubhouse. And everyone, you have people saying, yeah, Claire, is actually, absolutely, it is growing fast. It is growing fast. And you have people saying, oh, but is another social media platform that I need to be on? Do I have the time? Is it going to distract me? See it as in this way. I think Katya gave a great example. Treat Clubhouse like an event. You don't. You go to an event even if you know is not going. There might not be another next year, because you might find value in the conversation that you create in an event, and that's what Clubhouse is. Now, is it going to be there for the next 10 years? I don't know. Does it work right now? Is it something that people are looking for? Yes, because people are looking for connected conversations. People want to feel part of a conversation, but also people are more tired to spend time in front of a screen. And just having an audio-based social media platform where you can have your phone in your pocket and at the same time listen to real-time conversations or interact without, if you're a woman as well, without putting, my wife loves it because she doesn't have to spend hours putting her makeup on like she would do on a video, for example. Or I can be in bed and then get clients or create useful content and conversation while I'm in bed in my pajama. No one knows that, and no one cares. Well, if I'm on video, I need to show up a certain way. I gotta be shaved. I'm more conscious about the way I look. Well, here you can really use your voice to connect with people. And that's why I love Clubhouse. So, the question is now, how do you use it for business? That's the last thing I would love to talk about. How do you use Clubhouse for business? Well, there are a few ways in which you can use Clubhouse effectively for business. Number one is by being a participant in rooms of people that you would like to connect with. So, by some people that you want to partner with, or some people that you want to follow, this is a great way to have a chance to interact with them one-to-one, where they're creating a room, you're attending the audience, and then you can raise your hand, ask a question, or add value to a conversation that they have started. So maybe they are running a room and around your topic of expertise. That's a great client I have, Matt. He did this in an incredible way. He went into a room with a lot of influencers. He does investing and is an expert in alternative investing, so like bitcoins and so on, as well as more traditional ways. And so he went into a room listening to a lot of big people that had a huge following on Twitter in the investment space. He was following them there. So he jumped on the room and then went part of the conversation and added some insights that he had. Guess what? All the people that were part of the room now know that Matt knows his stuff. And so they started following him. But not only that, also the people that created the room, these influencers that created the room, now know that Matt knows his stuff. And so they might want to partner up with him. So then the next step, which is then you can reach out to the influencer or the person that you want to have the relationship or a partnership with. And then see, hey, I was in your room and I talked about this. It would be great to connect. So you can see that there is already you establish a common ground. You might do this also with other people that are part of an audience. Maybe someone else that is part of an audience is not part of the main panelist. They share something that you love, or they say something in a way that you feel connected to. And guess what? You can connect with other people and then say, hey, we were part of the same room. Send them a message on Instagram and say, hey, we're part of the same room. I really love what you share. I would love to connect with you. So you can see this is another way in which you can use effectively Clubhouse for Business without running your own room. Now the most important thing, which is a no-go, is to go in and use the room as a pitching ground. Because unfortunately there are people that do that. Which means they go in a room, they see that their ideal audience is there, their ideal partners are there, and they get all cocky. Generally are more men than women that do that, but there are a few women that do that too. That come in and they use this opportunity, oh, this is what I do, this is what I talk about, these are my clients, are the results that I got, and blah, 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 blah. If you do that, you're done on Clubhouse, because people are tired of that. It's almost like you're going to someone else's house or to someone else's event, now because you have the microphone and you feel the right to pitch your services. That's not how it works. You will be quickly shut down by the moderators. Well, some people would allow that. If you come into one of my rooms, you will be quickly shut down, trust me. So this is one of the things not to do. So make sure you come on Clubhouse with the spirit of giving, adding value, and building relationship, building relevant connections. Now there is the other way which you can use Clubhouse for Business, which is having your own, running your own rooms. Now you can create your own rooms for around the topic that you want to be known for. If you think about the work around visibility, and if you think about the work that you're doing in media, for example, it's about talking about things that you know. It's about talking about things that you want to be known for, talking about things that can attract your ideal clients. So you create conversations around that in your own room. And then it's better to collaborate with someone else that you know. Maybe you have 1, 2, or 3 panelists, because Clubhouse, as we mentioned, is around conversations. So you don't want to turn a Clubhouse room into a seminar. It's not a webinar where people come to listen to you. Remember the context of the platform. Context is everything. It's a platform where people want to hear to a conversation and be part of it. So it's worth always to collaborate with other people, because the worst case scenario, if no one joins the room, which never happens, or there are always people that join the room, then they will see a conversation that is going on, and they will be more likely to stay instead of just listen passively to someone almost running a webinar style. So don't run a webinar style. It is a room that involves and loves conversation. And also another thing that you will see is that when you're on Clubhouse, people that are following you, every time you are part of a room, whether you are being in the audience or being on stage, that room will appear on their feed, in their notification, in their hall. And so it means that whenever you invite someone else on stage, whenever you invite someone else in your room, wherever you collaborate with someone, their followers, they are also going to see your room. And so that's how you create win-win collaborations. Now, one of the worst things that you can do when you're creating a room with someone else is to jump over each other, because I've been on rooms, for example, where you can see that people are just there to get followers and to get clients and to show off. You can see it, you can smell it, it sucks. And you can see, because what they do it in a way where they always cut you off, or they always want to jump in and answer the question. Don't be that kind of speaker. Don't be that kind of speaker. When you're creating a room, have already an agreement with the other panelists on how the room is going to be run, who is going to answer questions. And also is your awareness, if you know that there is one of the other speakers who is dominating the conversation, and maybe, like if I'm conscious, if I know that maybe I've answered 2 questions in a row, I'll consciously say, hey, you know what, I've told too much right now, let me have someone else answer this question. Or rotating people answering those questions. And you will find that it will create a way more balanced room where there is not going to be one voice which is going to dominate the conversation. Because the aim of Clubhouse is having connected conversations. Is not, let me show you how much I know. That's different. This video is let me show you how much I know, because I'm here, there is no interaction. I mean, we have a few people watching live, they're commenting. Thank you, Claire, thank you, Sean, thank you everyone who's watching live. But it's more of a passive experience for a listener. So that's the platform for me to keep talking. But on Clubhouse is the platform for me to listen, to create a connected conversation, to moderate as well a conversation where everyone has equal time to speak. And people, we will find that resonate the room. In fact, a lot of the comments that we receive when people join our rooms are, I love how the room has been moderated. I love the value that has been added. Because we have a few ground rules. First of all our rooms are no pitching rooms. Because we don't want, we let people know, don't come here pitch. We will introduce you and we will tell people to follow you. Of course, you can mention things that you do and the business that you run. There is no wrong in that. But whenever the room turns into a, let me show how big I am, let me show what I can do, this is what gets the room to die, or for people to feel less or not to be wanted to be involved in a conversation. The question is, Claire is asking, how do you ask someone for their response? Well, you can set how you want their response to be. So, for example, if you want to invite a conversation, you can introduce the person who's coming on stage. Imagine it's a live event where you have the host and the MC introducing the person. So what we do, we read the 3 lines of the bio at the top, and then we let people know, hey, this is the conversation. Thank you for joining in. Do you have a question, or would you like to add something to the conversation? We let them know the ground rules. This is not a pitching zone, so we will introduce you. You can ask a question or add a comment, and then we will invite people to follow you. And another thing that, and how do you leverage for business this kind of conversations? Well, you can create leverage for partnerships. So maybe you can invite people, now that there is this buzz and Clubhouse is so new, there are a lot of people that want to collaborate and run rooms together. So you can reach out to someone else that maybe you had in your mind that you like, or you like their style, and say, hey, I'm on Clubhouse, you're on Clubhouse. Why don't we create a room and talk about this topic? And that becomes a win-win. So you can use it to create joint ventures and partnerships and cross-pollinate your audience and their audience. If you have 5 people that follows you, that's great. Clubhouse is still a platform that is so new that people will join rooms. I've joined plenty of rooms, for example, that where people where I'm not following the people that are moderating it. Another thing that works with that really powerful with Clubhouse is on like not having the end in mind. For example, I know that if someone just stays on Clubhouse, I'm less likely, unless they find me in another room or they follow me there, I'm less likely to find them or to have another conversation. So I want to take the conversation that starts on Clubhouse in person, I want to take off Clubhouse. And there are a few things that worked really well that I did. One is if I answer a question to someone and I know on their profile, generally they have the Instagram account linked. So when I answer a question, I'm going into their Instagram account and say, hey, it has been great talking to you. I hope my answer was useful. So now we can pick up the conversation and they might see, oh, you know what? I need an extra help. Or there I can offer extra help and say, hey, we talked about this. Are you okay? Or do you need extra help and see how we can work together on this? So that's how you can generate clients now moving it on Instagram on the DMs. Another thing that I've did that was really successful is to get them to DM me on Instagram a keyword. So for example, one of the things that we are doing is, because we are running a room daily, to create a weekly digest with the summary of all the conversations that happened in our room throughout the week. And to get it, they have to DM us Clubhouse, the keyword Clubhouse, and then we'll send them the link to register on our newsletter. Guess what? Now they are in our database, they are in our system. So we can let them know if you're running webinars, seminars, events, if you have product launches, and so on. Or I have a free training called How to Get Featured on Forbes and Major Publications. So if I'm creating a room around visibility, or there is a topic around visibility, I can mention, say, hey, I also have a free training, How to Get Featured on Forbes and Major Publication. DM me the word Forbes, and I will send it over. So now I can take the conversation on DMs and then send them the free giveaway or something that I have to keep building the relationship with them, and then get them from Clubhouse to Instagram to then my mailing list, where is more likely that the sales will happen, or is more likely to see the information that I have because it's a much more private environment. Or getting them to join a Facebook group if you have a Facebook group. It's like, hey, I have a Facebook group where we talk about these topics all the time. If you want to know, just send me the word or just DM me. If you can have a keyword. I like the choice of a keyword instead of saying just send me a direct message, mainly because it gives them a point of focus. You make it simple for them. They know what to do. Now, if you think about the adverts that you see on TV, text cruise if you want to win a cruise to the Caribbean, right? Why is that simple? Because it's a focal point, it's a keyword. If I don't know what to text you, if I don't know what to message you now, I don't know. Like, you don't even give me the instructions, so I can be confused and not actually message you at all. It's like, what shall I message you? But if you tell your audience what to message you back, they will respond with that keyword, which makes it easier for them, which makes it easier for you. And so if you have different, now maybe your business is very established and you have different giveaways, you can now give people multiple keywords depending on, don't give them all at once, but let's say one day you run a room on one topic, another day you run a room on another topic, they can then DM you and say, hey, DM me the word checklist for this checklist, DM me the word Forbes for this training, and so on. And so this is how I found for Clubhouse to be really effective for business, to think about what topics conversation is my audience interested in. On Clubhouse, I come from a place of service, so there is literally no pitching, no selling, because I want people to understand that I know my stuff. And Clubhouse is a great platform where you can showcase people on a conversation in real time, where there is no script, there is no faking it, there is no teleprompter, there is no preparation, that you know your stuff. And by doing that, you share the depth of your expertise, you invite people to connect with you privately, and then you have a sales conversation happening there. So these are a few ways, but remember Remember, the aim for Clubhouse is to create connected conversation. And the reason why, let me restate it, I love Clubhouse more than any other social media platform is actually the first social media platform I actually love to be in as a consumer, right? Most of the time, on other social media platform, I'm a creator. On Clubhouse, I'm a consumer as well. Why? Because it creates conversation. Why I loved it as a creator as well, it is because when you're talking about social selling, in the social selling spectrum, creating a conversation is the end goal. So you work and create content to have a conversation with someone. In Clubhouse is different. You have the conversation first. So what is the end goal of our social media platform? Is the first starting point of Clubhouse. Now, is it going to last? Is it going to change? Is it going to be the same? Who knows? Platform evolves, platform change, they're growing at a rapid rate. So every week, people saying, it wasn't like it was before. Yeah, before there were 10,000 people. Now we're going towards millions of people. So of course the platform is going to change. So the question is, how are you going to show up in the platform? How are you going to be known for in the platform? And how are you going to create a following of people that love the way you work? So show up, be you, use Clubhouse for business, and then of course always check in with yourself. You don't have to be on Clubhouse. That's the last thing I want. You don't. If you don't want to be on Clubhouse, you don't have to. Like you don't have to be on Facebook. Like you don't have to be on LinkedIn. Like you don't have to be on Twitter. Like you don't have to be on Instagram. Always check where is my audience, is a platform that I want to spend time on, because anything with social media requires consistency. If you do one Clubhouse room a month, nothing is going to happen. Like if you do one Facebook post a month, like if you do one LinkedIn post a month. But if you like it and you are consistent, show up daily or multiple times a week, then you can build traction. And like any new social media platforms, when the early adopters, they get the most tractions because there is less noise. And the more it passes, the more tens of thousands of users they get daily, the more the noisier it's going to be and the more difficult it's going to be to stand out like it is on Facebook now or LinkedIn. But still, the opportunities that Clubhouse creates are, for what I've seen, second to none. And if you really know your stuff, if you know what you're talking about, and you like having connected conversation and create a community, Clubhouse is definitely the space. And I'm going to spend a lot of time there. I spend about 2-3 hours, sometimes 4 hours a day there. And but it's not wasted time. I'm conscious about what I create, the conversation I have, why I'm doing it, because it can be easy to just get you know be and listen and do nothing and just use it as a way of procrastination. So make sure you're strategic and you're conscious about the time you spend there, and you might have great returns. I certainly had, and I am incredibly grateful because I found a platform that I really love to be in. So that's why I want to create this video and also this podcast episode. If you have any other question about Clubhouse, make sure you put them below and or contact me by email, and then I will create other videos. If you're listening to the recording on the podcast, thank you for listening, and I am looking forward to seeing you in the next episode, and to see you next time. All right, ciao.